So, Young Living has prepared an income disclosure statement designed to convey truthful, timely, and comprehensive information about the income that its brand partners has earned. The income disclosure is a tool that can assist members to understand the income opportunity. This is a reflection of the time and work and energy that it takes. And the opinions expressed on this presentation are solely my own and do not express the views or opinions of Young Living. And I just started shaking. Whew. Woo. Okay. Young Living is not endorsed or is not responsible for and makes no representations or warranties regarding the content or its accuracy. I encourage you to verify the explanations and opinions presented here today. Young Living shall not be liable for any harm resulting from or in connection with reliance of any such content. Hi, I'm Nikki. Oh, it's so good to be with you today. It's an honor and a privilege, and I'm just so incredibly grateful. If you don't already know me, my name is Nikki Flynn, and I'm a diamond from Canada. I bought my start. Yay! All the Canadians in the house say woo! Right? We are so happy to be here. Oh, shoot. Sorry about that. Not gonna. Right? Canadian! Okay, I bought my starter kit 8 years ago. I have 3 little boys. You can see them. They're really small and tiny. They're all over 6 feet tall. They're 17, 19, and 21. My husband and Andy live on the west coast of Canada. We've been married almost 26 years, and we live with our boys. We have our boys and our super cute Labradoodle Archie. And wild turkeys and all the things. So a little background about me. Before Young Living, I was a former elementary school teacher, so heads up, I may get you to do an assignment, tiny, easy one, and a professional photographer. I am a creative at heart, a lover of people. I am a competitive hip-hop dancer. I'm not even kidding, that's true. And I also tap dance and lyrical dance, and I have been known to give great hugs. So if you want a hug, I'll give you one. I also used to run, but I've never really called myself a runner, and that is a belief and a story, a runner, that I need to work on, but I'll tell you more about that later. When I was asked to speak on this topic, my initial reaction and the very first thing I said was, honestly, I've lost belief in myself in that area over the past few years. I don't know if I can do this. And so if you're feeling like you have too, it's okay. It's okay. I should probably tell you that I cry on every Zoom call I've ever been on, so I'll probably cry up here too. It has been a season, but we're all here together. It's okay. Every second is a second chance, and every day is a new opportunity. We are here. Young Living is here. We're here together. It's okay. We can start today. We all have a passion for these oils, these products, and this mission, and that's all that matters. We're here now, and we can do this. I want you to know that you are not alone if you've been feeling that way. Anyone else feeling that way? Hands up if you've been feeling that way. Okay, good. So I want you to look at this tiny little flower bud. It is tiny and it's compact, but it has infinite potential. They all bloom in their own time. So this tiny blossom in this photo has the potential within it, so that's the same tiny little blossom in that picture, the tiny little bud, to be this incredible, huge, massive, beautiful flower. And if you've ever seen peonies, you'll know that ants crawl all over them. Did you know that ants help peonies and peonies help ants? The peonies provide a food source of sugars, amino acids, and other compounds that ants need. And in return, the ants protect from other pests and other things that could cause damage to the flowers. So I want you to think as you're sitting here, who are the helpers in your life? Who do you have in your life that loves you and supports you always? And I want you to think about who you can help. I also want you to think about this business like a flower, right? Like the seeds we plant and the potential each seed holds to spread its beauty around the world. This is the same. You are the same. I am the same. This business is the same. We all have the potential to bloom and flourish in our own time, and we all have helpers to support us. The potential within each and every one of us is infinite. So when I first got started, and likely when you got started too, we bought our kits because we trusted our friend, right? And then I started sharing about it like crazy because I was seeing these benefits, and I knew if these were helping me, they could help other people. Everyone needs these oils, right? And so then for a while, after a few no's, and then the last few years, I started to believe the little stories that were in my head that stopped me from sharing so much, that stopped me from sharing this business opportunity. I started to believe those stories. So if you resonate at all, and those stories aren't true, I get you, I'm with you, I understand. And again, it is okay. We all have that incredible potential within us. And there has never been a better time to share than right now, especially after this morning. That was good stuff, right? Yeah. Okay, so your warm market. What does that even mean? Can anyone tell me what the warm market is? Just yell it out. People you already know, people that are already in your circle. That's right, your family, your friends, your colleagues, your work associates, soccer mom friends, people you work out with, people you went to high school with, people that already know, like, and trust you. Your friends, your family members, your yoga class comrades, book club besties, they need you. And mine need me to share what we know are amazing products, to teach them what we know about how to reduce the toxin level in our homes and in our lives. Social media has made it easier than ever to keep in contact with these people. It's not just for making new contacts. We can connect with the people that we went to high school with and elementary school with through Facebook or Instagram. I have a friend who I haven't seen in 32 years, but I know she's a dance teacher. I know her girls dance, and we keep in contact because of social media. And that's the most beautiful thing about it. It allows us to connect like never before. So the people in your circle that know, like, and trust you, they trust you. If you shared a recipe that you loved with me, if you told me about a pair of jeans that fit just right, because really, are there any that fit? Really, I don't think so. A great new store with beautiful things and incredible customer service, or a favorite restaurant that made the best tacos, I would trust your opinion because I already know, like, and trust you. And this is the same. But sometimes, because there's a business opportunity attached to these things that we love, because there's a business opportunity that's attached to this little bottle, we can make it weird. Right? Hi, you want to try my oils? It's weird. Like, you don't want to do that. We can make it really weird. We can make it weird. Ew. And sometimes the people who are closest to you will say things that feel hurtful about this business model. Truthfully, that could be because they're trying to protect you. Maybe and like Melissa just said, they could be projecting their own beliefs on you. Maybe they had a bad experience years ago and don't completely understand the heart of Young Living and of all of us. That's okay. Are there people that will say no, thank you? Yep. But remember, those no's don't always mean no. They can mean not now or not yet. When I got started, and likely when you got started, we bought our kit because we trusted our friend. Now, maybe you had to listen to a lot of friends for a year like I did before you bought your kit, but we ended up getting it because we trusted that person. And I will tell you that I've been doing this business for 8 years, and my social media following is still around 1,100 people. I am not a huge influencer, nor have I been a huge enroller in my history of being with Young Living. But most of the people that are already on my Instagram or Facebook, they already know, like, and trust me. And that's just one place where we can have a great impact. Our warm market is so important because they trust us. So I want you to share authentically. Just be you. So, a little story. One of my dearest friends and running coach was the first person I ever handed oils to try. I'll tell you a story, and then I'll tell you about this. She was the cutie little redhead on the end and with me at the distillery. She was the very first person I ever handed oils to try. And 2 days later, she got on that airplane and ran her 125K race. And she did really well. And so it's funny because that was 8 years ago. Over the next few years, she spoke at 2 of my retreats. I've spoke at one of hers. We've run a half marathon together. That was then. And did another adventure trip and another race in New Zealand. And we've made rollers for everybody and all of the things. And she still didn't have a kid. It was 6 years before she bought a kit. 6 years. 6 years after that 125K race and smelling me wearing oils at every boot camp I went to. She was my boot camp coach too. And every retreat and every event we attended together, she bought a kit. 6 years after she tried oils the first time. And then this past spring, she attended the Black Spruce Harvest with me, which is what this is. I made black spruce oil with my running coach at the Fort Nelson farm. And she uses oils for everything. But it was 6 years. What if I had said, this isn't working for me, or my friend isn't buying a kit? Right? Because how often do we think that? We think, well, this isn't really working because I posted 3 times and I didn't sell 12 kits yet. Or 75 kits. I mean, really, I posted 3 times. It's kind of like abs, right? Like, you can't do abs once, do crunches once, and have a washboard stomach. You just can't. We wish we could, but we can't. So, the thing is I know you all know this because you're here, is that these oils and products in this company are worth sharing over and over and over again. So, you have a gift to share. You have a beautiful spirit and a gift to share with this world. It is as unique and special as you are. It is as unique and special as every flower and every one of our oils. Our stories that are in our heads and that are not truth try to stop us and keep us safe. Our brain tries to keep us safe always. And sometimes posting on social media or sharing after we've heard no a few times can feel scary. Anyone else feel that? Or just me? Just me? Our brain can say to us, maybe this isn't for you. Maybe it's time to stop. That friend didn't buy oils. But those are just stories. And stories in our brains are not always truth. We all have people in our lives that, I don't need to hold this anymore. We all have people in our lives that need us to keep sharing what we know and all about these products. I want you to actually just think for 1 second about like a testimonial that someone gave you. Just think for a second. because you shared with someone, maybe their kid sleeps better. Maybe you've changed someone's life if you've shared one kit or given somebody a drop of oil. Just think of that, because it's big, right? We have our warm market and new friends we have yet to meet. So I told you I was a school teacher. So I'm going to give you a tiny little assignment right now. What I want you to do is I want you to make a really quick list. I'm going to give you like 23 seconds. But I want you to start thinking. I want you to make a list of all of the groups that you're in and where you know circles of people. Maybe it's your child's sports clubs, teams, your book club, where you work, your knitting group, you name it. Just quickly jot down 3 places where you know people, okay? In your phone or on your notepad. Grab some. Okay. So I want you to continue that list when you go home. Now, the second thing I want you to make a list of is the people you've enrolled and how you were connected to them. So maybe it's your child's grade 4 teacher, maybe it's your boss at work, maybe it's your sister-in-law. I'll give you another second. Just jot down the connections of people that you've enrolled. I'm a nice teacher, so I'm not going to make you do this for a really long time. But I want you to really think about that when you go home. Think about the connections you have made with people and think about who you've enrolled and how you were connected. So I'm going to show you my list that might jog your memory. If you look at this list here, the people that I've personally enrolled. Whoops, the next one, the next slide. Ooh, forward, please. One more. One more, please. Thank you. Okay, so my mom, my brother, my accountant, sister-in-law, running coach, teacher, my teacher, a student I taught, a dance friend, a manager, photography client, my forestry clients, family photographers, my hypnotherapist, editors, podcast editor, like somebody I was a brownie leader for when she was 5. So as you look at that list, I want you to think of, like, maybe that'll jog your memory on some of the more connections and where you know people. Okay? One thing you might notice when you're looking at your list of people that you've enrolled is that it might not be the people who are closest to you. Maybe the people that are closest to you didn't join right away. Maybe your running coach didn't join for 6 years, and you saw her every day, and you smelled like oils every day. Maybe it was acquaintances that did. And sometimes the people that are closest to us try to keep us safe. They make comments that feel painful sometimes, but it's maybe that they're trying to protect us. And like Melissa said earlier, maybe they're just, projecting their own beliefs on us. Right? Think about your special auntie or your best friend. They might be hesitant. That doesn't mean they won't eventually join you. I want you to keep going. Okay. And so how do we expand our warm market effectively? Here's some tips. And before I get to the tips, I actually want to tell you something that happened last week. I went to a yoga class, and the yoga teacher came out to me after class and she said, "Hey, Nikki, I really want to do an aroma yoga class with you. So let's plan that when you get back." Right? So people that know you use oils, they're going to connect with you. And then if we do aroma yoga classes, then that's a whole new circle of friends that I'll meet. Right? I don't like to call them prospects because I like to call them friends because they are friends. They're going to be friends. So how do we expand our warm market? So tip 1 is, I'm just going to wait. Oh, no, back, please. And one slide forward, please. Thank you. So, you're going to share authentically and fill a need for them. When I mentioned my friend I danced with when I was in grade 6, and we chatted back and forth over and over again, and then she ended up getting a kit. So, in order to share authentically and fill a need, you need to be a good listener. Fill their need, but don't make it awkward. Here's how you do that. Tip 2, be unattached to the outcome. When we genuinely and authentically share without any attachment to the outcome, then we can share from the heart, and people feel that. If we have an agenda, they feel that too. My brother is a perfect example of this. He was a huge skeptic. He made fun of me about these oils and this business. Like, he made fun of me all the time. But one day, he went snowboarding all day, and he came back, and he was talking about how sore and achy he was, and I gave him some Epsom salts with some, oils in it, and said, here, go have a bath. And then I walked away. And then he came out of the bath, and he was like, okay, that stuff works. I'm going to get a kit. I was like, told you. Anyway, I knew his feelings prior to this, so I knew he thought it was hokey and snake oils and all the things that we hear, right? All the weird things that people say. So I was unattached to the outcome. I handed him oils and said, here, I'll help you feel better. But he felt that I genuinely wanted to help him. He felt that. And if you have an agenda, they feel that too. Tip number 3, use your oils often and always have samples of your favorite products with you. And give them freely. Just keep them with you and you can give them. You never know when you might need to share it with somebody. And make sure that you have your contact information. And if you have it in a little bag like this, which is cute as can be, you can just leave this in my purse all the time. And I always have it ready to go if I want to give out a sample. But again, be unattached to the outcome. Don't be like, hey, I want to borrow my oils and I'll call you in 1.5 to 3 hours. And see if don't do that. Be unattached to the outcome. They might just fall in love. And they could be your next silver or gold or diamond leader. You don't know. The key with these oils is to get them on people's bodies. They can feel the difference, right? Okay, tip 4. Keep notes and follow up. If you're giving oils away or chatting casually with friends or family, keep notes and then follow up with them, especially if you've given them something to try. When I very first started, I had a page in the back of my journal called Share the Love, and where I wrote down every single person I ever talked to about oils. And I wrote down their names, and then beside their names I wrote what we talked about and the date. And then beside that, I put member number. And I just assumed that they would all get a kit. And I was just like, when are they going to get their kit? I just trusted they would get a kit. And over time, every single one of them enrolled. And as I was writing this presentation, I was like, I should really do that again. I should really keep better track and write all of it down and put out to the universe. This is what their member number is going to be. Okay, tip 5. Don't be pushy. Trust that your friend's timing is not necessarily your timing. Just because your mom and your best friend love you doesn't mean they have to join right this minute. Let them join in their own time. And again, don't make it weird. Don't just be the oil person now. Be the same beautiful person you've always been who now has oils. Share authentically and think of genuinely loving and serving these people. So how do we expand it? How do we grow it? Like I told you earlier, go to a yoga class. You never know. The person might be like, hey, you smell great. What is that? I want to do a class with you. Connect with people. Join community events and groups. Take up a new hobby. Start a dance class. Be a real human. Be genuine. Don't make it weird. How many of us have made it weird? Yeah. Hey, you want to try my oils? Oh, I think they could help you and I'll call you. Don't make it weird. Just be genuine. When I sat down to write this presentation, I thought about all of the people I've ever enrolled, and they made that list. And 2 of the people that I've enrolled in 8 years were not connected to me in some way prior. One of them was on an airplane, and one of them was a server in a restaurant. And every other person I've ever enrolled was someone that was connected to me in some way from my life. So connect. It doesn't matter who you know. It matters who they know and who they know. When you make, it's truly a community of connections and magic. That's how your team grows. We often think that we need to do this all on our own, but that's not truth. We have a community of connections and magic. Expand your warm market by making new connections and new friendships authentically. Connect with our warm market and help our friends do the same and genuinely care about them. This is how we build a beautiful team. So how do you help your friends? This is what I've done in my business, and I know Melissa just talked about a very similar thing. First, I teach. Once you have a member on your team, they might want to share with their friends, which is their warm market, but I don't know about you, but I knew nothing, and I was like, I don't know, rub this on your feet? I don't know. So help them. Hey, you host a class, I'll teach it. It can feel overwhelming when we first start. So if I say to you, hey, you host a class, invite all your friends, I'll come teach it for you. You enroll them all. That's cool. And so understand we before me. By helping our friends share with their markets, we can help them enroll their teams and build that fire within them, and it will be amplified. I know sometimes people think, well, if I'm teaching the class, shouldn't I enroll them? Not always. Because if you enroll, like if I host a class for Susie, and Susie has 10 friends come and 5 want to get a kit, the fire that I will build within that team members with her and helping her by teaching for her far outweighs the kit bonus that I would receive from that kit sale. All right? All right, I'm clapping. Yes, Nikki does. Oh, gosh. So it far outweighs it. Like, you might think it's $50, but for them, it's like, I have a team, right? So I teach. They enroll the new members. Then we teach. You and I come together. I help you. You teach the class, but I'm there. So if you have any questions, I'm right there. I act as support for them. And then I encourage them. They're already empowered. They're confident enough to teach on their own. And I say, you teach. And I go and I watch them teach, and they're amazing. And I have seen this duplicate down in my team like 10, 12, 15 levels deep. It's a beautiful thing. Someone said to me once, yeah, this person's teaching a class for me. And I was like, it's a beautiful thing. Because what you do is you model that for them so that they do that for their new members, and then they do that for their new members, and then they do that for their new members. And as a result, you're helping them enroll their warm market. The people feel loved and supported, and you are building a beautiful team of people who are connected. It's a beautiful thing. So, when we come to these events, I know we all take a million notes and we get all inspired, but I want you to take an action step right now. So for when you get home, I want you to think right now, don't question, don't second guess it, jot down who you're going to host a class for when you get home. Okay? You got it? Okay, make sure you have it. And then I want you to also think, who are you? I want you to think, did so good until right now, jeez. I want you to think about what kind of a class you're going to teach when you get home. So you're going to teach a class for you and invite your people, and you're going to teach a class for someone in your downline or a friend, okay? Okay, take a snapshot of that if you didn't write that down yet, and then you can, and pick a date. Yeah, put it on the calendar and make it happen. All right. You got it, you guys? I want you to trust the process. I'm going to try and wrap this up here because I just realized my time is running out. The very first person I ever told I bought my kit was my best friend. Shoot. I heard it at 11:55 p.m., I'm sure, on the last day of the month. And the next morning we got together. I was so excited to share with her, and I was like, wouldn't it be so fun to share these oils with each other and see what we could do? And the day after that, she bought a kit from another company. And my heart was crushed. I was so sad. And as time passed, I thought, if my best friend doesn't want to do this with me, what am I doing? Like, my running coach doesn't want oils, and my best friend doesn't want to do this. What's going on? But I knew that this was special. These oils, this mission, it's so special. And sometimes seeds can be planted in the perfect place at the perfect time for them to yield a beautiful thing. So trust the process and trust the timing. I have a story for you that's wild. Okay. A couple of years ago in Alberta, Canada, a woman pulled a carrot out of the ground, and around it was a diamond ring. Okay? So this is a wild story. 13 years earlier, the mother-in-law had lost her wedding ring while in the garden. They searched and searched and thought it was gone forever. The story's incredible and made me think about this business so much. You see, that family had planted a garden in the same spot for 13 years. For 13 years, they harvested from the same spot. This one harvest yielded something so special as the missing wedding ring of a family member was harvested too. The couple had been married for 60 years, and 13 of them, her wedding ring was in the dirt. But I want you to think about the perfect conditions that had to happen for that ring to come out of the ground around that carrot. That carrot seed needed to be in exactly the right spot. It had to grow down into the ring. If they had harvested it too soon, the carrot would have been too small and it would have not come out. If they had pulled the carrot too quickly, it might have broken and the ring wouldn't have come out of the ground. Every single factor had to line up to have a harvest that yielded a diamond ring that had been missing for 13 years. So I want you to think about this business. You never know who's listening. You might be sharing and sharing for months and years before your diamond ring friend or your running coach. And the one who wants to run all the way to RCD with you will be harvested, will grab her kit, will decide to do this business with you. My closest friend was the first person I told about this business, so it was only hours after I ordered my kit. And she watched and listened to me for a year and a half and watched me hit silver and gold before she bought a kit. And then she decided to do this business with me. My running coach, who I shared oils with, ran her 125K race, and 6 years later she bought a kit. Sometimes the conditions need to be absolutely perfect for your friend to see your post and have it speak to them in their current season of life and have them decide to grab a kit and get something you say might spark that desire in them to run full speed ahead with you. Not unlike the conditions that had to be perfect for this ring to come out of the ground. And like Ben said today, hope. Don't lose hope. Don't stop. Hope is the most important thing. Don't stop planting seeds. You never ever know which post will grab the next diamond's attention and be your very own golden carrot. So when someone says no, and I know Melissa touched on this earlier a little bit, the stories in our stories, they try to keep us safe. And when someone says no, it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with their own circumstances in their life, their beliefs, their own situations, all of it. But if we make it mean something about us, then we're like, oh, I shouldn't do this business. So a tiny story that we might have in our mind about this business model, or that somebody said this isn't for me, and someone says no, or said brain goes, oh, that's evidence of that belief. You need to stop. But they're just stories. I mentioned earlier that I have a story about not being a runner. But you've all seen a picture of me after I ran a half marathon with my running coach. I've done 3 half marathons since. I still don't think I'm a runner. It's just a story in my mind from whatever somebody said to me sometime, I don't know. But it's okay. Our stories are in our brain. They're just trying to keep us safe, and we can say thank you I'm okay. I've got this. Sometimes hearing no from your best friend or watching her buy a kid from another company or somebody saying this is a pyramid scheme feels scary. Your brain can be like, get out, no. But I'm here to remind you and remind myself that this mission is worth pushing through our comfort zones and telling our brains, oh, sweet girl, you're safe. It's important to keep sharing. Sorry. You guys are the best. It's important to keep going. Because just like when my brain said, who are you to speak? You can't do this anymore. I just told it, no, thank you for trying to keep me safe. But it's time to step back into who I am and stop believing that story. I almost said no, you guys. I almost wasn't on the stage. Thanks. But it's just, I want you to think though, it's just those stories that run wild in our head, they're not true and they're just trying to keep you safe. But you're safe. Just tell yourself, I'm safe. So I want you to think about those peonies for one more minute and I promise I'm almost done. They all bloom in their own time. Like you, like me. They don't compare themselves to each other. They just bloom. I know sometimes we can look beside ourselves at our friend who and say things like, well, Susie hit rock on in 3.5 seconds, so I'm not there yet. It must not be for me. Right? But that's not truth. Again, it's just a story. Just like my story about not being a runner. Or not being worthy of standing on the stage. I was like, that's a lie. That's not true. Stop. You have to stop those stories. If there's stories running through your head, tell them you're safe. You're okay. This is for all of us. It's for everyone. We can all share with people that we know, love, and care for. And even if we've gotten our own way, hey-o, or have forgotten how special we are and what we have is, that's okay. We can start again. We can rewrite the story we've been telling ourselves today. Right now. We're in this together, you guys. We've got this. The last day, as I sat writing my presentation in the sunshine on my deck, I looked at the journal I had written all of my notes about it in, and it struck me. What is done in love is done well. We can't mess this up. We can't not do it well. If we do it with a genuine heart for people and an authenticity for helping, we can't not do it well. We're in this together, you guys. We've got this. Our friends, our family, they need us, and it's all in perfect timing. You were here today for a reason. It's always okay. And I'm so grateful. Thank you. I would love to connect with you all and see you bloom. You can connect with me on Instagram at Nikki Flynn. And I want to thank you for being here with me today. I'm cheering for you always. Tag me in your celebrations and go just be your own beautiful self. Just go. Share. Do it. We got this. Love you.